Hello there. I believe we are live. We're having that fun awkwardness of knowing, trying to figure out whether we're live. It says we are. Hello, everyone. It is that time, the time of the week again for Geek Speak. And today we are talking about hacking the algorithm of Facebook.
Woo!
Woo! Uh, awesome. And so my name is Phelan. I work with Seymour Digital, or work. Uh, got totally thrown off there. It's I'm with Seymour Digital Media.
And I'm Rena Little from Little Works Indie Media.
Yeah, there's too many things happening now. I don't. This workflow is
All right, let's get centered because this is my favorite topic of all,
yeah.
Facebook algorithm. And the first thing I want to do is we all have noticed big changes on the algorithm lately. Lots of people are complaining about they can't get their posts seen in
I am.
groups. They can't they can't get their post. Their followers aren't seeing their posts on their pages. Can we get yeah, followers can't see their posts on the pages, and so people are doubling down and creating more content, reels, stories, posts. It's really hard to know what to do, and we're talking about Meta, not just Facebook. So
Hmm.
that's for Instagram and Facebook, and of course we all know, hopefully we all know, that they have two separate algorithms, but they are kind of doing the same thing right now, just maybe behaving a little bit differently. I think we're still getting a little bit better numbers on Instagram than on Facebook for businesses. And so there are a number of things that I want to talk about today on how these changes affect how we should think about doing business and what kind of strategy we should come up with for Facebook and Instagram. That might be a little bit different than before for some of you.
Hmm.
For me, I've been actually, my philosophy is always the least amount of content with the most amount of distribution. So that is how I'm geared to, because I don't think we should, aim to become content machines. We have businesses. We want to do our business. We actually need to be in our business. We don't want to turn business owners into marketers. That's not the game here. But if you are doing your own marketing, less is more, and we're going to talk about the types of things that is going to really help that. So, if we go back into our time machine down to like before 2012, we used to be able to do business directly on Facebook, make a lot of money, not even have a website. Those days, then sometime in 2012, the algorithm went and all of a sudden it became a really big pay to play space.
Hmm.
So that sort of hooped a lot of business owners and sent them figuring other things out. And then we were doing gated stuff so that we could get people on our email list. I think they called it trip wiring. Is that what it's called? Trip wiring, and where you give out lots of freebies and you saw lots of funnels. And that was one of the reasons, is because people were putting money into ads and they wanted to make sure that they were making money on that content. And one of the ways of doing it was to get people out of the Facebook ecosphere and into their own ecosphere, because you only own your email list and your website. Those are the two main things. So we want to really focus everything into making sure that those two things are best. So we also had this algorithm, and usually what it was doing is you have like 100% of your followers. If somebody had liked your page, you would have, first it was likes, then it became followers. Um, you would have, the algorithm had sort of like a baseline they used to talk about as to how many people, what percentage of those people who are following you would receive your content, and then your content, as people interacted with that content, that's how it actually went viral. Or outside of your follower list, it would get picked up by their friends because they would comment and then their friends would see your stuff. So that's how it worked for a long time. And as the business pages dwindled in terms of algorithm, groups were doing quite well. So people moved into groups, and you would try and get all of your followers into your group, and you would teach something or talk about something or have some kind of community formation, which was really actually quite fun. I really liked it. Now the algorithm in that space is also dwindling. So what do we know? Well, that we have like this new AI. I don't know if it's new AI, but definitely a new algorithm. and it was sort of called the Discovery. What's it called here? I lost it. Where is it? The Discovery algorithm. Yeah, Discovery Engine, AI powered Discovery Engine. And what it's doing is it's actually putting your content. And I noticed this more on Instagram than I did on Facebook, but it is taking your content and putting it in front of um, people who don't follow you. So you're getting more views from non-followers. Generally, if you're looking at your meta insights, you will notice that you're getting more views from non-followers. So what does that mean? Well, it means two things. Shall I just keep going? I feel like
Uh,
I'm on a roll here.
yeah, no, no, go for it.
Because this is my space. So we have two things. We have to think about what kind of content do we want to put into for our top funnel people, because these people don't know us. They've never heard of us at all. Maybe they don't even realize they have a problem yet. Maybe they do. We don't really know much about them yet either, right?
Hmm.
So the algorithm is pushing our content out to those people. And how does it know how to do that? Based on all the data. So it's going to be, taking all the information that it can from your post, which is generally textual, because Meta and AI still can't read videos in that same way. And well, I don't know, maybe they can read the subtitles though,
That's our,
the captions. Yeah, I'm not
I
really sure about that now that I think about it.
it's
Uh,
still janky, right? So
yeah,
yeah,
totally.
anytime AI is
Uh,
like reading something and it has to do an
yeah,
assessment out of it, that's where
yeah,
things get kind of weird with AI
yeah.
tools.
Yeah, and same with photos. So if you're doing
Yeah,
really really good work with your what is it called? Oh my
graphic
goodness.
designer, like your
No. No, you're the
oh with the SRT file.
alt text, the alt text. Yeah,
Oh
the alt text for your images, if you're doing a really good job, that could be helpful. But these are all things that we want to think about. We want to actually realize that that status that we're putting with our post, with our media, is super important. And that's why you probably don't want to work with a social media person that only offers you images and videos. It's really good to have somebody looking over your text and making sure that that's on point for the types of posting that we're doing and for the algorithm right now. So that's number one. Think about the posts that you're doing and thinking about that those are likely going to reach more people that actually don't know you yet. The second part is that I like to think about and that we don't want to forget are, what about all the followers that we're getting our posts and now we're no longer getting our posts?
yeah,
That's a bummer, right? So we need to figure out a really great way to bypass that and get them into our ecosystem. And one way to actually fix both problems is to run ads. So, of course, that's always the answer in my mind. Run ads. Make sure you're
yeah,
running ad campaigns. And that way you don't even have to worry yourself about the algorithm. But
yeah,
and then I usually just do a keep the lights on. So I do posts and I do value added posts, and some people disagree with me on that, but I still think it works really well for a lot of people. But what we want to be doing is getting our followers off our eco list. So if we haven't already run a campaign to get them into our newsletter list, then we want to do that. We want to actually try and do that. The opposite thing we can do is um, we can also try and find our followers through email addresses. If they've used email addresses with us, even if they haven't signed up to the newsletter, you don't need permission to run ads to people based on their email address. So you can actually run a campaign to your email list if it's long enough, because sometimes it's not long enough to really get good results. So that's one thing. The different types of posts.
so
Oh,
yeah, I think that's asking
yeah,
about different types of posts and which one's the best one to be.
yeah,
Is there a
yeah.
preferred one?
Yeah, for organic posting, we're getting a lot more out of our reels still on Instagram and Facebook. Much more out of that. Stories are still really good on Instagram. I haven't really looked at them that much on Facebook, and you really want to make sure you're using your stories well. So your stories should actually lead to a deeper deeper piece, like move them away from the story to another post, or I think you can add links to your stories and get them out and get them off, get them to where you need them to be. But we usually link them to larger posts that we make on a topic. Um, and then lives actually are really great. We were just talking about lives before we went live today. And lives are really great, but I don't know if everyone has noticed or not, because I did actually mention it in one of our monthly updates, is that Facebook is now taking the lives down. I thought it was old lives, but now it's definitely after, I think it's 30 days or 90 days, one of those.
I
I've got
think
to
it's
look
30. I do.
up.
When you
Yeah, I feel
said
like it's
30
a really
days,
short. Yeah.
yeah, it's like it's a weirdly short timeline.
Yeah,
My guess about that is it's most likely having to do with server cost, right? They're
totally,
not seeing
totally,
value, and so what they're doing is
totally.
that they're just like, oh, it's been 30 days. Like, it really
Yeah,
doesn't get as much play once it's done.
yeah.
So it's like, well, why keep it around? And so just delete it from
Well,
the server.
actually, that's not. I don't really think so. We get way more repeat views on ours in
Uh,
particular, but
yeah,
um,
I'm just saying from the
yeah,
cynical, like,
no, I
they're
get that.
looking at
That's
server
what everything.
costs.
Yeah. So basically, what I would do if it, and what I'm starting to do in my business is that we are actually, because we looked at, should we just upload, because we've been uploading, we've been having some restream issues. So lately we've been uploading and we've been looking at the differences too. How does that work compared to going live?
Yeah.
And it definitely looks like we get better results when we actually go live than when we upload a video. So that's one thing to notice. So we're not going to stop going live, but what we're going to do is we're going to be downloading the videos and then downloading the lives as videos and then uploading them once they get sunsetted by Facebook. So we'll be doing that and organizing our content that way. So
Hmm.
because you spend all that time filling out. I don't know if you've ever actually, you know, well, actually, that's a video, so it doesn't really matter. But yeah, you fill out all the information. Like, it's a lot of work to get a video
Yeah.
going, and then you want to optimize it as best you can to get as much views in the future. But again, so when we go back to I just want to go back to the thinking about the organic posts for new people. How do we get that in front of front of them, make sure that we're getting in front of the right people? So we want to make sure that our statuses are full, our posts are full with text.
Yeah.
We don't want to have, what I've noticed is a lot of people are actually turning the text that they would usually have in the status, and they're making them into image stories, like carousels and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
if you do that, that does get people's attention, and I actually think it's a good thing to do, but it
Hmm.
doesn't trigger any information to it doesn't give any information to Facebook. So what I recommend doing is actually repeating a lot of that, summarizing or paraphrasing that information so that you've got the right words in your status to get in front of the right people. I think that's super important. Hashtags are also going to be really important to do. So I would skip branding hashtags myself. I've actually skipped branding hashtags for quite a few years now. I don't find them useful, and I find it really quite funny when people, small businesses who are totally unknown, they'll use 5 branded hashtags and then one on the topic. And it should be the opposite. If you're going to use a branded hashtag, make sure it's useful, like it points to a series, because your handle is right there. So if people want to see more of your stuff, they're not going to hit a hashtag. They're going to hit the handle, right?
Yeah.
So it's unnecessary. Yeah.
Just for the audience, what is a branded hashtag? Just so that.
A branded hashtag is when you actually put your service name, your business name, your proprietary stuff as a hashtag. So, for example, if I put hashtag little works on all of my posts,
Yeah.
it's kind of meaningless and useless. Um, it's the only time I think the branded hashtags are good are if you're at a conference or a trade show or something like that. That branded hashtag would be good because you can connect with other people that went to the same event. So that type of branded hashtag works. If you have a series, like a blog series that you're putting out on your socials, or just a series in general, then you can put a hashtag for your series. But to put value based, like a lot of women entrepreneurs will put value based hashtags, so they'll put like hashtag part of their business name, and then they'll put something like um, love or loves their clients or whatever it is. So it's a branded hashtag. Sometimes it has to do with a program that they're doing.
Okay.
I think those are all a waste of hashtags because it doesn't bring any people. Nobody's following hashtags anymore because you can't really do that on Instagram like you used to. Um, and it's just not useful. So that's the thing that I think about hashtags. Make sure that's useful, very practical, pragmatic approach. So we really want to focus on what is the thing. And then the other part that I like to do is where are my people hashtags. So where are my people?
Mm.
So that's location. It could be
Yeah.
location. It could be conference name. It could be like I find a lot of my I like my content to go through like um, um, hashtag like um, um, Vancouver lifestyle. Like
Mm.
sometimes I'll put that hashtag. It doesn't really describe what I'm doing. It's not a descriptor, but that's I know that my women entrepreneur will be sitting through Vancouver lifestyle hashtag and looking at stuff there, or Vancouver women in business. That's another one that I use a lot. So where are my people looking for information? So
Yeah.
and and make sure that it's something that doesn't get you millions of that isn't already getting millions of posts. So you want something that's maybe between, it depends on how small your business is or how niche you are, but it could be anywhere between 100 or 1,000 as your low end, or and up to 100,000 or 1 million as your high end. I wouldn't go any higher than that. And think about your niche. If you've got a really niche market, then go for the smaller numbers. Go for 100 to 10,000 even, because you couldn't hand, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that's pretty good.
And where do people go to research the like those hashtags to kind
The
of get it?
hashtags?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I go right in Instagram and I start searching hashtags myself in Instagram.
Okay.
And when you're actually adding your hashtags, take a look to see what is trying to auto-populate for you because that can give you ideas for hashtags. You can go online and search best hashtags for Instagram, but I don't really like those. I like doing the research right in Instagram. And then what I do every now and again is I'll check my hashtags. Usually I'm checking my people's hashtags. So
Yeah.
usually I'll go to a post, I'll see, oh, that's an interesting hashtag that they thought of. I'll click it. And if there's like zero or all of the hashtags are ours, I'm like, take that hashtag out. We have a hashtag list for each client on our Trello cards, which ones we use and which ones we don't use. So that
Okay.
keeps that really clear. And we swap them out. We do not put the same hashtags for every single post. I know a lot of automations, like a lot of scheduling tools will do that for you. I don't think putting it in the same place all the time is ideal.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so that's the algorithm. The biggest algorithm part is like thinking about it. Um, one of the reasons why they made this shift is because they were actually, again, copying TikTok. So Mark Zuckerberg has this thing about finding something that's really great and then trying to copy it all. And
Yeah.
that's what's happened here. So, uh, so, um, right. So basically, the whole point is that it's going from interest, which was is what we're doing now. So we went from friend and followers. We're in interest, the interest based thing. So that's it's supposed to be getting pushed to people that are interested in what we're putting out there. And then the idea, or some of the people are saying, I'm not going to give you my sources, are moving to intent graphs so that it's going to go in front of people that have the intention but might not understand, might not know that they have the intention. That's how much data they have on us. So
Yeah.
that's kind of a little scary. Yeah, so if you're getting your massive followers, get them off. Make sure that you have an email sign up on your intake forms immediately and try and get that express consent that we're always looking for in Canada. I know it's a little different for our American viewers, but we are opt-in Canadians and Americans are opt-out. So that means that we have different rules to follow. You can't just take someone's email and put it on your list. Um,
Yeah. Though, like you said, ads are slightly different. because you're not technically you're not emailing them directly. You're using that email as a marketing tool in order to reach them. And as long as
Yeah.
Facebook and Google are compliant, which they probably are with California privacy law, which is the
Yeah.
big one because they're both housed in
Yeah.
California. That's kind of the biggest
Yeah.
one, I would say. Um,
Yeah. And then I also wanted to bring up this neat little fact that's kind of frustrating for marketers is that one view equals 1 millisecond. And so considering it takes 13 milliseconds for the human brain to interpret what your eye is seeing, I feel like we're being ripped off a little bit.
well, yeah, I
So,
mean, Facebook's always played very fast and loose with what counts,
yeah,
like how they count the metrics in order for them to look
yeah,
really good to advertisers. Uh, it's
yes,
not to say they can't provide results. Like they're better
yeah,
than your Pinterest or your LinkedIn for the most part. They
yes.
just do a better job.
Well, what I
Uh,
was going to suggest is take a look at the columns. Like if you're pushing your content out um, through ads, you can definitely check your columns and look for, 60-second views or, longer views. I don't think they give you that information in the organic section at all.
no,
They might on they might on your videos. I'm gonna have to go and take a look at that. But what I've seen is, I have a client and we're doing some organic tactics, which are really working for her, and she's getting 47,000 views on her reels, just by organic means and by a very small. I think she's got about maybe less than 1,000 or about 1,000 followers, and so 47,000 seems like a lot. It is a lot. It is a lot. If you look at any of your reels, you'll see that that number is huge because these reels are still on Facebook Insights, which means that they're not more than 90 days old. So they're great,
okay,
great results. But but if they're only getting what did I say? 13, 1 nanosecond. Did I say
one
one? Yeah, I said
millisecond.
1 millisecond. I don't know why nanosecond came up. 1 millisecond, then you have to actually think about what that looks like or feels like, or in reality, what that actually means.
Yeah.
So that's that. Um, and then we've got, did we have something there? I feel like there was something, Phelan, that I was going to ask you about, and I've completely slipped.
Oh, it's the dead internet theory was the one that we were talking about. Because we're talking about how
Yes, that's
groups.
right. Tell us about the dead internet theory.
So kind of in the wake, because like basically Facebook in the last year has really done the big push, because from 2020 I feel like 2020 was a time that they really pushed groups.
Yes.
Right, it was
Yes.
when the disease was kicking around and there was like a lot of stuff that was going on in the world, and they were really trying to push groups. And in the
Yeah.
last 5 years, as TikTok's kind of eaten a bit of Facebook's lunch, they've been trying to figure out how to do stuff, but they've also kind of like Reddit, for example, is a very like there's almost no AI content on Reddit. That's the reason why Google made a big deal with
Oh,
them.
I don't think I didn't know that.
It's because it has moderators for every group, right? And if you don't moderate
Yeah.
it, they'll close your group down. And
Yes.
so one of the big ones is that Facebook kind of took the opposite approach. Is that they kind of were like, hey, let's see how crazy we can get with it. And
Yeah.
so they've kind of let AI tools kind of run roughshod over a lot of groups.
Yeah.
And what that's resulted in, it's called the dead internet theory, which is basically AI bots
Right.
talking to other
Right.
AI
Right. Right.
bots
That's
and
right. That's
and
right.
just
Yes.
generating more. I don't know if anyone's seen it. I haven't seen it organically. Like I've seen it like because I went and looked for it. But like shrimp Jesus is a big one. So it's like a Jesus that's made out of shrimp. Um,
God.
yeah, it's just like AI bots like randomly like creating images, and they just like perpetually get more weird. And so
Yeah.
that's kind of like one of the things that uh, people are trying to. I think Facebook's trying to figure out where it's going next, and so that's why
Yeah.
they're trying a lot of like they're trying a lot of different tools. They're also trying to insert a lot more AI directly into your communicating with an AI tool, and then that does the finding for you.
Yeah.
So they're I think that it's just and I think it's a symptom of Facebook just being an old platform, right? Like it's been around
Yeah.
coming on nearly 20 years now. So it's hard
Yeah.
for a platform like that to try to be innovative, try to be on top
Well,
of
yeah, because
things.
you can't, there's just not infinite growth is, I just don't believe in infinite growth.
Well, I mean, there's like infinite growth
Proceed.
meets reality, right? Like reality
Yeah,
has like limitations. We're
yeah,
on like a single
yeah,
planet. Like
yeah,
it,
exactly.
it's so we're limited by that. Oh, sorry about that. Neighbor
Like,
just
I'm
got a
not sure.
delivery, and so the dogs decided that they were going to bark to let them know that they knew they were there.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, it's handy knowing what's going on. You don't get a chance to sneak up on you, that's for sure.
no one's breaking into this house. That's for sure.
Yeah,
Uh,
exactly. So when it comes to posting on Facebook, I would say um, 2 to 3 posts a week is plenty. And
yeah,
then instead of doing this, if you're going to go organic completely, you want to make sure they're reels, and you can go up to two a day, but I really don't think that's necessary. I feel like when you start to post the next one, it actually exhausts the previous one, and I just find that less is better. I feel like the first thing you should do is jump on ads as soon as you can, and it's not because I sell ads, it's because it just does better, period. And that's why I sell ads. Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
Like, otherwise, I would prefer to do everything organically myself because I like that environment. But, but, um, but that's really what I do. And you also want to sort of organize yourself maybe as a niche to become relevant with one particular group of people. And then that really helps you to become an expert in your space. And then
hmm
there are these really neat things that are happening. The other kinds of posts that are working really well, our carousel posts are still working well, especially on Instagram, because it's one of those swipe things,
yeah,
you know, for more. The other one that's working on Facebook is, you know how you can actually type in a shorter note and then make the color background happen?
yeah.
Those were working very well. The other thing I'm recommending is putting your links in your comments, not in your status anymore. Um, and then
Okay,
you can actually see people doing, a lot of spammers are doing this. You see them in the recipe groups, like the vegan groups or the whatever. Um, they're posting the pictures, or they post the colored posts, the colored background posts, and
yeah.
then they drop the link to the blog post in the comment, and then they might say a couple other things as comments to try and get their algorithm going themselves.
Okay, okay. I see what you're saying.
Excuse me. And then that's been working out very well. It's a little bit harder to manage because I haven't found a scheduler that you can actually schedule the comments on your own posts. So you have to kind of be able to do things manually a little bit more. If you know anyone out in the world watching this, if you know of a schedule where I can schedule the comments, I would really love to know about that.
Yeah. Uh, yeah. It also might be a limitation on what Facebook has open to the like what they open up to their API. I've
Yeah,
definitely run into that
yeah,
with other platforms where they just are like, yeah, you're not getting access to
yeah,
this. Like we want you to organically do this thing.
yeah. And sort of the last thing that I want to leave with everybody when I talk about ads, because this came up actually for me last week when somebody, when because I talk about ads at my weekly networking meeting, and what became super evident is people are thinking that what I'm doing is boosting posts, which actually looks really easy and is really easy. There's a button on the front of the post, and then it lets you select a target market and do some fun things, and then set an amount, and then you just set it and forget it. That's not what I'm talking about at all.
Yeah.
You're running your ads through boosted posts, but from the front of the page and not in your ads manager. I don't even like the creative suite ads selection. Go to ads manager. If you don't know how to do that, you can look it up. Facebook has some really great instruction help, or you can ping me and I can have a chat with you about it. But if you're not using Ads Manager for your ads, then you're not really using the ads effectively. It's really quite a lot of money. It's it's actually built for people who don't know how to run ads, which is fine. but it's really just a cash cow for Facebook. It doesn't perform. I've never seen anyone tell me that they booked a ticket or got a client or anything from their ads. And the ads should be tracking on your website. So you should have your pixel or conversions or whatever they're calling it these days organized on your website on each page so that each button has a set assigned um, trigger so that you can actually monitor what's happening, and you that helps you know where you're losing people, where they drop off. Maybe there's a landing page issue, maybe there's a broken link, all these maybes. So it helps to flag problems and helps you to incrementally improve all the time, like you're constantly monitoring these things. And it also helps you target and tag. Target and tag. Just it helps you target way more clearly. You can actually niche target for your niche for your separated. Like I've got some beginner classes for my stuff, and I've got full service for bigger companies. I can target those different groups very separately and get better results. And then you can also retarget. That's the next thing. So anyone that has hit on one of your ads and gone to your website or found themselves on their website at all, the IP is tracked, organized. That's what all those cookies things are, accept, decline cookies, and then you can get back to those people either through Facebook book retargeting, or you can retarget using Google Ads. Super helpful for both those things. Getting initial target there is sometimes easier from Facebook than it is with Google Ads.
Yeah.
And those are my thoughts on the Facebook algorithm, the AI algorithm that's happening right now.
Yeah, sounds good. Yeah, it's all been helpful tips. I hope everyone got a lot out of that. Definitely leave us a comment if you have more questions. We're in the Business Marketing Mixer Facebook group, and we'll continue the conversation there. My name is Phelan with Seymour Digital Media.
And I'm Rena from Little Works Indie Media. And next week, at the same time, at the same place that you're finding us now, it's going to be Marketing Pulse, Search and Social, and AI. This month's trends, tactics, and game changers. So all four of us will be there to discuss the last month in marketing.
Nice.
Have a
All
great
right.
week.
See you then. Bye.